Okay, welcome to the Unit 8 video tutorial for pages 9 and 10 on percent yields. Alright, so this is a percent yield equation. Just as a reminder, it is on the bottom of your class periodic table, which means it doesn't need to get memorized. The biggest thing we're going to need to be looking for, okay, is identifying which one is the actual yields, which I'm going to do in green, and which one is the theoretical yields. So for theoretical yields, you're going to find words like expected or calculated. Okay, you expect to make 30 grilled cheese sandwiches, but you burned 2 of them, so you actually made 28. So you'd say the 28 divided by the 30 times 100. So let's go ahead and look at number 1. Okay, we're going to box in our givens and try and figure out which one's actual and theoretical. An iron nail is left outside where it reacts to form. So this happened. It made this many grams of rust. If 170 grams of rust were expected, and I did that backwards, this one should be green. That's my actual, and this is what I expected. So that was, in theory, this could have happened. So I'm going to put my actual, 128, over my expected, 170. And anytime you have a small number divided by a bigger number, you're going to get decimal. So we'll say times 100 will give us your answer. 128 divided by 170, okay, times 100 gives us 75.29%. 75% or 75.3, whatever you kind of want to put there. Just make sure you're boxing in or circling your final answer. Okay, let's skip down to number 4. A lab experiment produced. Okay, so that actually happened. It made this many grams. The calculations show that this many grams should have been, okay, but weren't. So that's just in theory. Right, so we're going to go 85 is my actual over, in theory, what should have happened. And you'll start to notice a trend as you do this, and it's almost always going to be the smaller number divided by the bigger number times 100. Okay, so all of our answers should be less than 100%. 85 divided by 116, all right, gives me my decimal, times 100, gives me 73.27%. I'm going to write 73.3%. And there's my final answer for that. Let's look at page 10. Just a little bit more of the same. Thank heavens we're not doing crazy stoichiometry here. Okay, if this many grams of aluminum 3 oxide, or just aluminum fluoride, excuse me, is expected, and this many grams is collected. So I'm actually getting this many. That's what I am collecting. This is just what I expect. So I'm going to put my actual, which is smaller, over my theoretical. I'm going to say times 100. 400 divided by 412 times 100. 97%. So this is a pretty efficient reaction, and maybe that's another important word, especially if you were absent, that this is a measure of the reaction's efficiency. So this was a pretty good reaction. We got about 97% of what we expected, versus on the other side we're talking like 72%, so it wasn't a very efficient reaction. Alright, hopefully this day is not too bad.